Dad.
No, they didn't see nothing, honey.
She throws a wrench at your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Why does he not speak of her?
He's a poor father.
But I did hear that you're the best mechanic on this side of the sector.
You keep your wits together about that, man.
I think your old man's changed since you last seen him.
How about a little wager?
The Sun Skippers are holding a race. The gathered ships all take off at high speed on their sublight engines. And Taloo, what you hear is
The sun, the sun, the sun.
Towards the sun, and I'm just like,
That's
kinda,
away
finger
from the
guns
race.
and like back, like towards the sun.
you guys pass through the Cinder Web boarding clamps, cutting through the Scarab's hull into your ship.
Pappy, that's not good.
Hello. I just start firing again.
Melvin, you any good at hacking?
I can try my best.
Spider bots.
Look for the nearest large piece of metal and smash them.
The next way beacon creating this little asteroid thicket.
I would like to try and scrape this ship off of me.
We're all gonna die.
That's great.
Jane just simply goes, "Hey, idiots!"
They just open fire on you. Jaina Havocan pulls from underneath her armor the hilt of a sword, a long blade of what looks like hard light, and she drives the sword into the wall of your vault. Everybody, and welcome back to the Jester's Space Court. I am your Galaxy Master, Jonas Tintenseher, and joining me today, as always, we have Sky Swanson.
On this crew full of jerks, we are always the perps. When I drink, I burp, then I go slurp, slurp.
Oh,
no.
You son of a bitch.
Bringing it back.
We're bringing it back, babies.
You fuck.
It's me, Jay Dexheart. Shout out to Becca for helping me with that rhyme.
Nice, good.
Legend.
Rachel Kordell.
Taloo dabudi dabudai devu har.
Because she's
Oh my god. It's the rewritten
That was almost as bad as mine.
Taloo devuna.
Casey Reardon.
Shifting into high gear, but not winning Father of the Year. It's Pappy.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
So
Accurate.
sad.
We brought
Accurate.
it back with some gold.
Seth Coveyou.
And I played Chaag, the mineral badass.
Nice.
I like, no, just the period at the end.
Classic bronze.
Well, we
league.
still haven't done Andrew yet.
Yeah, no. Andrew.
He's a robot. He just shot their shit. Let's
You
move
really
on.
should just put me at the end because the energy is so great, and then I happen, and then
Frost, the ellipsis after Seth's period.
Yeah, it's Melvin, the fabricated physician. There we go. Nailed it.
That was really good.
When
You running this show, Jonas.
I keep forgetting that for some reason.
Has it been 9 months already? That pause. Oof.
That was a layered joke. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
When we left off, the crew had joined a race with the criminal faction known as the Sun Skippers, known for racing through the Cinder Web between Fade's twin stars on the advice of Pappy's estranged son-in-law, or rather,
Oh, great.
semi-friendly son-in-law married to his estranged daughter, Rip Grinner. However, during the race, although the Scarab was making pretty decent time, staying just ahead of the middle of the pack, the ship was once again attacked by one of the black corvettes belonging to the Furies. It boarded the ship, and although the crew did their best to fight them off, one of these Furies is now on board with a glowing hard light sword stuck into the wall of their vault. So, I want to know what Melvin is doing.
Well, last we saw Melvin, he was playing spaceball with
Spaceball,
little
right.
spider robots in the engine room. And his next mission, I think, was to try to disconnect the Corvette from the ship. Is it still
Yes.
latched on there?
Pretty sure I scraped most of it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pappy knocked off the Corvette with an asteroid, and the remainder of the boarding device also detached itself,
Okay,
leaving
good.
only a patch on the hull.
Well, that's
Good
nice
to
of them
know.
to seal it up.
Yeah, that
after
worked
them,
out
you know?
very well.
Well, they've got
it's
a-
really nice.
They have a Fury on board.
They're on board. They don't want to fall out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
They got helmets.
Could be worse.
That's only for cleaning the air of toxins. It doesn't
that
help
is-
them. Yeah.
Well,
It's
and-
actually, the helmet actually does literally nothing. It's only for the voice changer.
They're made.
Oh, yeah.
They're made of.
Okay.
plastic.
it's all for aesthetic.
They are
yeah.
made of plastic.
Oh, sorry. Like they're made of Duraplastic.
Yeah, Duraplastic.
Space
Space plastic.
So if that's the case, I assume that Melvin will just radio into Jane and be like, Captain, I believe that I've cleared all spider things. Shit, my brain don't work good. His does.
You could short circuit.
And also, technically, are you even Captain? Have we established that, Jane?
I
Yeah.
think we established. People have been calling
Jane
Jane,
is the-
Captain this
yeah.
whole time.
Jane has
the-
established that they're a captain. Yeah.
Yeah. Jane has established that.
Okay.
No one else has, but Jane certainly has. It's on some paperwork out there.
No one wants to do it. Jane's totally fine with it.
Jane loves doing it. Jane's Captain at heart. Anyway, you hear over the comm just a hailstorm of blaster fire. I think the last thing that happened to Jane. Didn't we end? I had failed a major roll and taken like 3 harm.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Oh.
So all you hear over the comm is just.
Oh, no.
yeah, so that's what you hear, Melvin. What's
Okay, so
your,
I'm not even going to ask my question then. I'm just going to make my way to the main area of the ship. See where all the excitement's
Yeah,
going down.
Okay. So you come around from the engine room. Are you gonna? I assume you're bringing your chunk of metal with you.
Oh, yeah, I got my giant metal pipe still.
Yeah, your pipe. You come around dragging this giant pipe behind you and see, indeed, toward the back of the ship, Jaina Havacan and several soldiers have approached the vault, where you can just kind of barely see Taloo poking her head out from a hiding place, a smuggler's compartment in the wall, and Jane being shot to shit with blaster rifles. Jane, speaking of, when we did leave off, we left off on a cliffhanger for your resistance roll.
I thought I
because
did roll it and failed, so that's exciting.
You failed the roll, which got.
I think I could really use resolve for this and talk my way out of getting shot. Just,
Well, of course.
You know,
Ask the bullets
Why don't
nicely.
you Sky? Why don't you spend? Let's take 15 minutes, and you can pitch your case to me, and then I'm going to tell you to roll prowess anyway. You need to dodge.
All right,
You need
this
to
is
get to cover right now.
1d6.
You have 1 in prowess?
I have 1 in prowess.
Okay.
That's 1.
One. Okay, so you were going to take 5 stress.
Ah, I think that takes me. Yep, I had only 4 left, so that takes me over the top.
Throw out your dice, dude. What are you doing?
Seth, these are my red ones that usually are super broken.
Did Mike touch them? Did Mike touch your dice?
Mike, we have a buddy named Mike who has grimy little fingers.
Not in front anymore. Got the stink all over your dice.
We love Mike.
So this is bad for Jane, but great for the show because it means we get to talk about a new mechanic.
Character
good.
death?
Trauma.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, my stress completely fills up. I think the final thing you hear from Jane though is just a, just takes a break.
Just on the floor bleeding out. Just pulls out a can.
All right, so Jane, because you still resisted, even though you did really badly on the resistance roll, all that means is it took a lot out of you to resist. So that harm, level 3 harm, is going to bump down. And because you traumaed out, I'm going to say it's only going to bump down to a level 2 here.
Wow.
But trauma in this game, when you fill up your stress track, you are knocked out of the action, not necessarily the whole score, not necessarily even the whole scene, just based on what makes sense. But you are briefly taken out of the fiction, and when you come back in, you will have received a trauma. Things like cold, reckless, haunted, something about being riddled with plasma bolts. Has changed the way that Jane looks at the world.
I never really thought
I don't think that sounds real enough.
So what does it look like as you are taken out of the scene?
I think again, it's this moment where like Taloo is up in the vent
Taloo is like halfway out and moving toward you.
Okay,
In slow motion, I'm trying.
Watching like the plan's about to happen. She's about to leave, and Jane is just like, head off, and just like completely. And just from the vent, the perspective is you from the vent. Just watch Jane just get absolutely lit up, like stumbling back down this metal hall until she just slumps against the wall and falls to the ground. And I imagine that all the hallways are hexagons.
Yeah.
So just like slumped against the side.
The superior shape, for sure.
The superior shape.
Since we're here in this scene, Jaina has this golden blade of hard light that she has slammed into the wall of your newly cleared out vault where you're keeping the artifact. And she starts to pull, trying to cut open a hole in the wall. Taloo, you're here. You see Jane go down. You hear the sizzle of Jaina cutting through the wall. And you can still hear the wailing of that little voice shouting,
The sun, the sun, the sun.
What do you do?
I mean, I want to. She's very upset. Taloo is very upset.
Who wouldn't be?
I wish Rachel was at the emotional level that Taloo is feeling, so it's like weird trying to connect. It's going to be something drastic.
Yeah, Rachel just doesn't care about Sky as much as
Rachel
Taloo cares about
but Rachel
Jane.
can't. I can't just like rack myself to 11 like that.
Understandable.
So it's gonna be something drastic. I kind of like, I don't even know how. I'm looking at my one ability where I can basically throw myself at the situation, and I kind of want to like rip the blade out of her hands.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, reckless, and it feels like it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is going to be a roll. She is a trained, dangerous operative.
Of course, yeah.
In order to use this ability, you have to push yourself.
Of course, yeah.
So that's spending 2 stress. But
That's easy.
because you're pushing yourself, that also means you get an extra die on this roll.
Nice. Okay.
And on top of that, you may also spend a gambit or take a chaos bargain, if you so desire.
I kind of want to ask what the chaos bargain is, but does that mean I have to take it if I know what it is?
You do not have to take it. I have to offer it to you first, then you decide.
I mean, Jane gets stabbed even more.
No, it's got to be Taloo gets stabbed low with, because you're messing around with a lightsaber. You can't just grapple a lightsaber. Oh, sorry, a hard light sword. You can't grapple with a hard light sword and not get burned.
A sunblade.
A beam
is
stabber.
what I'm calling it.
A sunblade. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe it's Jane gets captured because Taloo's energy is focused on the Fury, not the other people.
That's a good one. All right.
That could cause some trauma.
Yeah.
Taloo, choice 1 is that they will take Jane hostage. So not necessarily like capture, like they don't have anywhere to go, but they will have Jane. Choice 2 is the artifact does something weird.
Ooh. I mean,
Choice 3 is you don't take any of those, you just don't
I
get
wonder
extra die.
if no, Jane's passed out. I can't chip in.
So no sun sword damage. Making out like a man is what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, that's a consequence of the roll that could happen normally.
Oh, okay.
The chaos bargain is it's like a secondary consequence that will happen no matter what, if the bargain is accepted.
Okay.
Right.
If you fail, if you're trying to like wrestle the sword out of her hands and fail, then you might get slashed. That's a different thing.
Well, yeah, no, I feel that's kind of a risk regardless of what's going on.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just realized I filled my XP bar last time, but I didn't actually upgrade anything in
Oh, well,
prowess.
you could do it right now. This could be your moment of truth.
That's a different game.
Well, this could be a moment of adrenaline powers you up, and
Yeah,
you could,
I could. I think that's reasonable.
so you're at 3 dice flat. 3 dice is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like the chaos bargain at this point isn't necessary. I think I'll take my 3.
Sure.
Okay, cool. How's a 5?
A 5. 5 is a mixed success. I'm going to say that this was actually a desperate standard roll because you are in a pretty tough position here. So you're going to mark 1 prowess XP for rolling a desperate action with a prowess action. And yeah, so you propel yourself using the semi-mystical power of the eye. What does that look like?
I feel like it's again, just watching her friend, someone who pretty much just took her off the streets and gave her a home, get absolutely Swiss cheesed in a matter of seconds.
Good verb.
Yeah, that's a
It's-
great use of that as a verb.
I don't know why I picture kind of like like Dragon Ball Z, like Super Saiyan, like getting like forced down the hallway.
Oh, that's awesome.
And just trying to grab at the handle of the thing as she's putting it in the wall.
Cool. You fly out of the compartment, zooming toward Jaina. She fully does not see that coming. There is just that momentary anime, like, where she turns her head and obviously full face mask, but we can imagine that one eye goes super wide.
Yep.
And you fully tackle, like, break her connection to the sword, wrest it out of her hands. The consequence here is twofold. First of all, you're going to take level 1 harm seared.
Sure.
As some of the heat from the sunblade catches you as you're trying to wrestle it from her. And there is also now a large gash torn in the side of the vault. It's not something anyone can walk through, but there is like a molten gash that you can see inside is like the crate holding the artifact and a couple other random doodads and valuables you guys have on board.
Okay.
You fly past her, sword in hand, hold it out in front of you, and it flickers and fades.
Ooh.
And she like flexes her fingers, rubs her wrist, and then turns her full attention toward you. And we're going to cut over to Chaag, who is sort of opposite this fracas, dealing with his own squad of goons.
At this point, I think I'm walking over their broken bodies, right?
Yeah, you have cut a swath through the soldiers remaining, and as there is no more boarding pod, there are no more soldiers like arriving. Whoever's on your ship is all you've got.
Yeah.
So you are marching toward the back of the ship. Melvin kind of cuts in from the side as you see up ahead this little fracas happening.
Oh, good, you've got a pipe.
Any excitement up here?
No.
Good.
I just like kick one of the dead bodies and like, now it's pretty boring.
So Chaag and Melvin, you guys see Taloo wrest this sunblade out of Jaina's hands, and the rest of her soldiers are like back to back trying to aim at both you and at Jane, and Taloo like trying to, there's like maybe 5 or 6 guys left on top of Jaina. So Chaag and Melvin, what are you guys doing?
Chaag,
Yeah.
please assist Taloo. I will try to find the captain.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was the idea.
And he scurries away.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of easily find Jane slumped down against the wall just at the edge of a corner here, one of these hallways.
Captain, I do not have any painkillers on my person. All I have are your aforementioned recreational party times.
Jane could like barely do anything, but she just like slightly opens up her mouth.
It's a physiological response, always ready for a recreational fun time.
Yeah.
I am giving you a microdose of gamma hydroxybutyrate. I will not give you too much, as you will probably just go into a coma and die.
Just quietly change it. Hell yeah.
And I will use my class ability to patch.
Yeah, so Patch lets you doctor during a job to let them ignore harm for a little while, which absolutely will help Jane out here.
That's great.
We got a 6 in there, baby.
Hey.
Very cool.
So you just shove a handful of recreational fun times into Jane's
Amazing.
open mouth, and they're like, obviously she is still covered in blaster burns. Like, you don't heal anything here.
Mhm.
You're just like eyes flutter open and you feel the adrenaline coursing through your system.
So
It's like
basically,
Pulp Fiction.
yeah, I gave you GHB.
Yeah.
So I give you a little bit. So you're feeling a little goofy, a little stronger.
It's a narcolepsy drug.
It can be used for bad purposes,
Got it.
but it's also like sometimes gets used by like bodybuilders as like a muscle supplement.
Oh, okay. So Jane also gets like super buff.
Oh yeah,
right
she's
now.
swole,
Yeah,
swole as hell.
yeah. And so Melvin, you help Jane up to her feet. Chaag, what are you going to do about everyone else?
I mean, I'm going to aim Duke at the rest of the edgelords, and I'm going to say, welcome to your exit strategy. And I'm going to start firing into their now warm but soon to be cold bodies.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
Whoa.
absolutely. You don't quite have the drop on hammer, so there's still going to be a roll.
Cool. Yeah, I rolled a 6.
A 6. You guys need to roll a little bit worse. Please.
Don't leave
What are you
your
talking about?
Wait,
I rolled.
I'm sorry,
3
did Pappy
twos
not-
and 2 ones.
Pappy and Jane both rolled horribly last session.
Jaina should be afraid of Chaag. Jaina, like, I know she's like really like she's got this pride in her, and she's like super badass. But like, I've walked
Chaag
like
is
the floor with
absolutely
them.
the biggest threat on this ship, to her. Yeah, so you start firing, and they start firing back at you, and you frankly don't even care. Like, your crystal body hardens. We see the translucent quartz go a little bit more opaque. Blaster bolts fly off. You take out some of them. Several of them, like 2 or 3 of them, run and duck for cover when they see that this is not going to go well. But half of them, you just completely mow down.
Where are you running? I mean, it's over.
As Jaina is advancing on Taloo, and we're going to also cut up to the front of the ship. This race is close to over. You are currently in 4th place or so, since some of the other racers have crashed into the asteroid debris field where you scraped off the Corvette. Rip Grinner is still at the far front, and there are a couple more way beacons to go before the race is called. What's Pappy gonna do?
All right, so we're pulling up to the next way station, and as our ship, the Scarab, is pulling through it, Pappy is just gonna slam on this big blue button on the console, and as he does so, the tractor beam on the left side of or I guess the port side of the ship, activates, and it just grabs onto the way station, whipping us across in the bend, sending us forward.
Awesome.
Nice.
There you go.
There's no sound in space, but through the hull of the ship, there is this sonorous thrumming noise as the gravity of the Scarab's cargo beam hits the way station's own little mini gravitational field. And you can see that the little beacon floating in space there starts like spinning rapidly as it's trying to thruster itself away and anchor where it's supposed to be in 3D space, creating this anchor point for the Scarab to whip around. You see on your sensors, you see Rip ahead of you, and you get a phone call over the thing. It's like, Pappy, what the hell are you doing?
Don't worry too much about it, Rip. I'd keep a few secrets for myself.
Go ahead and roll your
Intimidate.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Yeah, intimidate. I'm gonna roll Helm. I have potency because I'm guessing this is a speed-related roll.
This is absolutely a speed related roll. You have potency on speed rolls for sure. You want to damage your ship to get an extra.
I'm
bonus.
nervous about damaging the already damaged ship, but
This is risky standard by default.
Yep.
With potency, that pumps you up to risky great effect. And with if you exceeded specs to gain +1 effect, that would bring you to outstanding effect.
yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, do it.
I haven't been rolling great in piloting, even though that's my whole shtick, but let's do it anyway.
I believe in you,
this.
buddy.
This
You
is
can
the-
do it.
This is the game you're doing it. If this
How
was
could you fail
D&D,
2 rolls? How could you fail twice in a row?
yeah.
Yeah.
If this was D&D, this would be a persuasion roll against physics, but you're doing great.
Are we going to damage
That's such
the
a good
weapons or the
line.
engines here?
What's already damaged? Just the weapons, right?
The hull.
Oh, the hull's
The hull.
damage. Oh,
Hull is your hull is creaking and like
Yeah.
on the verge
Right.
of falling apart, especially with all this damage that Jaina and the gunfight is doing.
I'm gonna save the engine. Actually, I think I'm gonna damage the weapons.
Yeah.
So the engines blast into full power. Your prow-mounted forward guns overheat from the sheer energy coursing through the system. You blast forward, tractor cargo beam retracting. You can also spend another gambit if you want an extra die for this.
Or do I push myself and fill up my stress meter?
Oh yeah. Do it.
Do I take the trauma?
I mean, that's pretty dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as you succeed this roll, you have outstanding effect. Like, that's wins you the race. Can you imagine coming into first place with the pilot unconscious?
Wait,
ship
why
just
didn't
keeps
they stop
flying
for
by.
their prize? Yeah, why didn't they stop for their prize money?
All right, let's go for it. We're gonna push myself
push
for
yourself?
2 stress, gaining a trauma, and that resets the stress bar, right?
The stress track.
Yeah, that all resets. Okay.
Or just you freaking out and having a panic attack, and just they hear as it goes by.
And that's gonna give me 3 dice total, and I'll spend a gambit for a 4th because I'm probably gonna need it.
Absolutely.
All right. For the love of God, there is a 6 in there. Thank God.
There you go.
Hooray!
We did it.
Full 6. That's a full success with outstanding effect. The Scarab whips around And even your artificial grav system is not enough to account for this sudden burst of speed and change in angle. Everyone in the ship, including Chaag, Taloo, Jaina, Jane and Melvin, as they're stumbling to their feet, are slammed into the side of the wall.
Can I slam into Jaina?
It's the wrong direction. Sorry, you're this in a hallway. You're going.
So I'll take out the other 4 guys.
One of the guys is like running for a doorway, and you just slam and crush into him and just knock him out.
Oops,
absolutely. And I'm not going to make you take any harm for that because that would be mean on a full success. But
I forgot for a second that you're like a 3-ton rock man.
Yeah.
And like it's totally different in my head now what I'm visualizing, and it's horrifying.
yeah, there's some blood and broken bones for sure.
Oh yeah, they're
And-
pancaked.
Yeah.
What director is in charge of that scene right there?
James Gunn, of course.
Okay, it's fine. Then there's like no blood or anything.
Oh no, there's a lot of blood.
Oh no, we're talking trauma, James Gunn.
Oh, okay.
We're talking Suicide Squad and James Bond.
Oh,
Suicide
that's
Squad.
Not Suicide
I
Squad.
totally
yeah.
forgot.
This is the
about-
scum and villainy.
I forgot about the Suicide Squad. Like,
The engines on the back of the Scarab ignite the flame. It does, again, sort of that anime thing where like the flame coming out of the engines expands first to like twice as big and then 3 times as big, and the fire is blue now because it's burning so hot. The Scarab rockets forward. The console in front of you, Pappy, the weapons console, explodes like in Star Trek. Electricity and sparks flying everywhere and suddenly smoking that like knocks you out for the moment. You are slumped over in your chair as the Scarab races flying straight past Rip Grinner and his little one-man fighter craft, and we just get this slow motion shot of him inside looking up through the canopy as the Scarab just, and he's like, you know, his face is this contorted expression of confusion that is then amplified when he sees that you are not even awake. You know, you can just barely see in the cockpit of the Scarab that you are just slumped over, tongue lolling out with the biggest grin on your face.
Can we retcon me saying anything to Rip when I did that? So he's,
Okay. So he's like, Pappy, what the hell are you doing?
I say absolutely nothing.
It just explodes in your face, and that's all he hears. Sailing
I
forward.
just imagine your face on the glass. Like, I know it's weird, but just like, ah.
His drool just like sliding down.
Let's look at the back of the ship real quick. Jaina stands once again surrounded. Chaag is picking himself up. Taloo has the inactive Sunblade. Melvin and Jane are coming around the corner. What are you guys doing about Jaina?
I throw my pipe at her.
Okay.
Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on one side, Chaag, you're on the other. Melvin's
yeah.
further down. I'm like,
I mean, it's been established that I could just fall into her and she would.
I mean, I know.
Cut you in half with a hard light sword.
No, Taloo has it. So,
No, I have it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
She just opens her cape. She just has 7 million symbols.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Addition to my collection.
I had 2 thoughts about what I would do after I had this thing in my hand. It would either be run away or actually, I mean, I'm imagining it requires something to use it because it powered down.
There is something, yeah, you're not sure what, you don't know if it's like a power source or a biosignature or what, but yeah, there is, you gather that
I cannot
she has
use
something
this.
that makes it work that you can. Not at the moment. Maybe you figure something out,
Yeah.
but
So I don't know. I guess maybe I'll clip it to my belt and pull out my own blasters.
Taloo,
okay.
use the eye.
I mean, I'll push him at you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I don't know.
There's a
I
little
like
targeting
it.
display on your helmet that just goes away.
And then he just make the sweeping motion and they hit Chaag and Chaag's like, hey, Taloo, why did you do that? And then they just crumpled to the ground, I guess.
That could work, actually.
Taloo is going to try and force push Jaina. Chaag, you are going to be a walking bulwark. Melvin, throw your pipe at her.
Yes.
And Jane,
I paid your colada.
Can you like shit? No, you're out of the action.
You
Okay.
got.
no, she's back in the action.
Oh, can you can you shoot one of the other guys that isn't even looking at you at this moment? Because I think you're just out. Just like get
You
him in
guys
the
watch
butt.
out of your peripheral as Jane attempts to just simply full body tackle one of them.
Oh,
Perfect.
She
okay.
is so delirious and out of it and thinks that she's invincible right now. and it's just kind of like off to the side of the camera. It's not the main.
It's a funny
focus.
background event.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a background gig.
Cool. You'll have an off-screen death. That's fun.
Yeah.
I think this sounds like one roll here to end this conflict. This is a group scrap roll.
Oh no.
Okay.
As you are all just kind of throwing yourself at your enemies with various speeds.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So who is leading this action and will therefore take stress?
I am kind of in a quote unquote power position, having just ripped the.
Yeah.
I think
Certainly
that makes
she's
sense.
focused on Taloo.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone is going to roll their scrap, and we're going to pick the highest number out of those, and any failure is going to be a stress for Taloo.
Okay.
I have
Yay.
no scrap, so enjoy the stress from Jane.
I got a 6.
I got a 6 and a 3, so a 3.
Shame.
I rolled a 6.
4.
A four.
Hey.
So,
Damn.
That's doable. I'll take it.
Taloo, you're going to take one stress,
That's fine.
making up for Jane. And what I want to do is I want to narrate this as a kind of sweeping camera move as we go from person to person. We're going to start with Taloo Melvin kicking this off.
Yeah.
As you come around the corner and throw your pipe, what is our first thing we see here? Remember, so there might be consequences after, but like you guys get the drop on her and win this fight. So Melvin,
Yeah.
how do we start?
So I basically just tomahawk throw the pipe across this corridor, planting it firmly between the eyes of this helmet. Jane basically just hears Melvin whisper to himself off to the side.
Targeting system recalibrated.
Ooh, cool.
Pipe spins through the air, clangs, she recoils, draws a blaster from inside of her. Actually, you're not really sure where because her armor is this weird, sleek, matte thing.
Her hair holds many secrets.
We sweep over to Taloo.
That's where I would, with my power pose, being that I have this fancy schmancy weapon, would just do a nice force push into her, right back into Chaag.
Summon your energy, you open the eye and unleash this blast of pressure toward Jaina that does not quite take her completely off her feet. You can sense there is something of an energy field around her as well that she is using to ground herself. But she is blasted back in the air. We can imagine she's on like a wire system and getting pulled away. Lands, tries to claw herself against and stumbles, falling backward into Chaag.
They hit me. I drop my blaster on them. I pick them up by their head, and I slam their head into the ground repeatedly. Bang, 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 bang. Are you done yet? Are you ready to comply?
She, at one point, catches her, like, with both arms on the ground, as if to, in kind of a push-up pose to try and stop herself from slamming in again. Moves to spin and take aim on you when Orchid, the pink Kydian, the giant mantis, emerges from one of the smuggler's compartments where she'd been hiding and swipes and cuts off Jaina's hand, holding the blaster. And
she screams out.
She does not.
Oh.
It was a robot hand.
Ew. It's not growing back. When's it gonna grow back?
And then we sweep over to Jane.
So Jane and this guy Jane like goes up like ready to fight him, and this dude just one haymaker right into the side of the head, and Jane just hits the deck immediately.
Slams to the ground. Everyone does a double take in that direction.
So undignified.
You rolled a 6 though. You didn't take one of them out?
I rolled a 6 and a 3.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't have any scrap.
You have zero scrap? Oh, okay.
Zero
It's a
scrap.
group. Yeah, it's a group. Yeah, the group
okay,
action is success, but Jane absolutely hits the ground. Everyone does a double take in that direction and sees the thug like looking down at you and then like looking up and seeing his boss on the ground clearly losing and just puts his hands up.
Okay.
Jane for the crowd's just like, got him.
I am going to get off of Jaina because I think Orchid's got Jaina. I think that's fine.
Orchid puts one of her long, bony blades just in the center of Jaina's chest and just holds her, like, not even applying any pressure, just like, I could stab you right now.
I
Gotcha.
can't believe you have a character wielding a hard light sword and you took their hand off. Like, you're getting dangerously close to some.
I'm following the fiction, baby.
Jaina, Pappy is your father. He is not a good dad.
Jaina Skywalker.
I go over to the guy that has surrendered, and I reach out a hand.
He offers his hand in return.
As soon as they touch my hand, my fingers close like a bear trap, and I pull them in real close. No, it's not. It's uncomfortable, but it's not bone crushing yet. But it's you can see it is. It gets more uncomfortable as my hand starts to get more and more opaque. And then I'm going to like very gently into their helmet ear say, "Okay, now you have to ask yourself one question: who has 2 thumbs and is ready to comply?"
I don't know about the 2-thumb thing anymore, but yeah, I'll comply.
Oh, you got it. It's gonna be fine. Take off your helmet. You look silly.
Takes off his helmet. You see it is a figure with that sort of alien nose that like curves down from the brow into a flat like mesa almost above the mouth. 4 eyes, and their face is kind of a bluish grayish color. They are completely symmetrical in their appearance, and they just comply.
Give him a nice scar.
I mean, Jada's gonna have a nice scar when her hand grows back, right? That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool for you, huh?
You say that turning back to Jaina?
Yeah.
I want to know, before I get to that, I want to know what Taloo and Melvin are doing, as Jane is kind of passed out.
You don't want to know what Jane's doing?
Well, she's actually passed out, or is she just?
According to Sky.
I think at this point, Jane went down twice. Jane's fully out of the scene.
Oh yeah, I assume that Melvin just has like Jane over his shoulder or something.
Melvin is bringing Jane to sickbay. That makes sense. And
yeah,
Taloo?
I mean, if that order wasn't already like said, Taloo would probably be like, yeah, just take care of her. Cool.
You just hear quietly, Jane be like, "You're not in charge."
And then would look at Chaag and be like, I guess restrain them? Yeah?
That guy's cool. I'm going to fix her. And I'm going to take off.
As you guys look and turn back to Jaina, who, as of now, has just been on the ground, kind of one hand supporting herself with one hand across her, the stump hand across her chest. Orchid just has a blade arm on her, kind of at her sternum where the armor plate is. When you guys turn back to her, having taken attention off her for a moment, Taloo, you just feel this sudden rush of mystical energy.
Good.
And Jaina, faster than almost anything, raises a hand, makes a crushing motion, and the black patch on your hull from where they boarded crumples and vanishes into space. And Jaina is sucked out into the void.
So badass.
And also Mantis?
Orchid like is sucked up with her, tries to like claw and slam her way into the hull, dig a claw in and lodge herself. What do you guys do about that?
There is emergency blast doors that can come down in compartments. So in the case of like, a huge missile hole or something like that, to keep people from coming
Sectioned out. Airlocks, absolutely.
Yeah, we only have a few moments before those are just going to deploy, and like less than a moment. So I'm going to grab Orchid and pull them into a secure compartment so that they will not get destroyed.
Yeah, if you didn't do that, I was going to do something similar.
Taloo, you maybe reach out with the eye as well, trying to pull her down. Chaag, you grab, pull. The airlock door slams shut just as you're pulling Orchid in and cuts off 2 of her legs.
Oh.
You save her like she's alive, but she instantly like passes out from the shock. You just have this huge, heavy heap of mantis in your arms. Now you're like, I'm going after Melvin, I guess.
Yeah.
Great.
I look at the guy that surrenders. Like,
yeah.
Your boss is a dick.
Yeah. No argument from me.
Want to be in our group? We have actually decent healthcare. Look, we gotta.
As you like have your arm around this guy walking into the sick bay.
Yeah,
like,
I got.
You want to join our group?
Orchid on my shoulder, and I've got this guy, and I'm like, come on, we're not so bad.
401k match.
The last thing we're gonna
do. No 401k. We can't do that.
Taloo, as you kind of are following, like get yourself tended to as well. You look back at the rift in the side of the vault, this ugly crack in the wall, and you just hear the voice trickling away in your mind, just briefly just says,
The silence. It was so beautiful.
and then it kind of fades into silence.
Ooh, what
So
does that mean?
It's not gonna keep talking, or
It stops screaming, yeah.
Okay.
Pappy, you come to consciousness a few moments later as the Scarab is being forcibly tractor beamed and docking planted.
They have to get like
the-
3
We're
tugboats
getting
'cause it's
attacked
still-
again.
It's
Right,
still
right.
going full force.
Full throttle, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great time to bring in your ship contact, Styx, a tugboat captain.
Yep.
Who
Oh, yeah.
happened to be in the area. It's a small galaxy after all. And latches onto the Scarab, pulls it back to the finish line. Rip Grinner and the surviving racers arrive in short order. You kind of brush yourself off, Pappy, and step out. Rip comes up to you and says, I tell you what, in all my years of racing, I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that.
Well, I can say as well, I don't know if I've ever done something quite like that either, but I can tell you right now, I know for a fact that I am invincible.
You say that, the camera just like rack focuses over your shoulder to the Scarab behind you.
Yes.
Which is
Well,
a
wing just-
smoking, sparking. Yeah, one of the wings collapses. The docking clamp just fully fractures off. Taloo like pokes her head out.
Just the entire right side of the ship just fall.
And that is where we end this score, having won the race against all odds and fought off the Furies again.
Yeah.
Money. I mean, win.
Money immediately spent fixing the ship.
Yeah.
Darn it.
We now transition into downtime. So, first, as reward for this score, you guys get another solid 4 cred
Frick yeah.
for winning the race. And from the loot and sort of and gear you guys get from this this gunfight you've had, there is now a lot of extra blaster rifles and armor laying around that you can salvage and sell. I'm going to give you another 2 cred for that.
Wow.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
6 cred.
Ooh.
So another 6 cred for you. This is so downtime. Again, this is abstract. In this case, this probably represents you guys go back to Farla's shipyard for repairs. You guys spend some time laying low, trying to complete whatever long-term projects or fix up the ship that you've been dealing with. We're also going to, are you going to pay upkeep or not? Upkeep is still 1 cred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering it's about to explode, I think.
Yeah, we should probably
Yeah.
upkeep.
Heat. This is again, because of the nature of the enemy you're dealing with here, and because this was a pretty small illegal race, this is only a 1 heat job. So someone is on your tail, but they are not, working in an official capacity.
So we are at 1 heat in here, which is the Fate system.
Yes.
And we have 2 heat in the Mara system.
You guys are currently at 1 heat in Reiko, 1 heat in Fade, and 2 heat in Mara.
Okay.
Which currently isn't causing you any problems, but if heat keeps building up, that can bite you in the butt.
Yeah. I mean, is there another system we could go to?
There is one more system.
The one more system where we just don't do anything.
That's where we lay low.
Where we lay low.
Yeah, one of the downtime actions. So whenever you lay low, you do that in any system other than the one you're reducing heat in, basically, and that reduces heat that way. But again, you guys are still at low heat.
Oh, but we could stay here and we could lower heat in Mara or Reiko. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So we could game it out depending on how we want to proceed. Like
Where you want to go next.
Yeah. Okay. Because we have no idea. All right. Time for some big brain.
We rolled a 3 for entanglement, so that'll come up later, and that brings us to downtime. This is our second downtime of the game. As a reminder, everyone gets 2 downtime actions to begin with, and the thing we left off last time is that you can spend cred to gain additional downtime actions.
Ooh.
You can also spend cred to enhance the results of certain downtime actions if you're trying to fill a clock. For example, your recovery clock or a project clock. You can spend a cred to increase the effect level and gain some extra ticks. To start off our downtime, let's go to the mineral badass Chaag. What are you doing this downtime?
Since we're still in the Fade system, I'm going to go up to Farla and I'm going to say, "Want to have some fun?" Yeah, we just leave it at and it's a cutscene to just like me and Farla at a spa. They're doing like spa stuff, like cucumbers and face masks. Someone's like got a nail file for Farla doing her nails, and then someone else has like an axe grinder going over my fingers.
Pan.
And
dust shooting off everywhere.
And then it'll shoot over to us like we're in kind of like the junkyard behind Farla's workshop, where she's got all these like builds that are like probably gonna happen someday, and some things that are like probably never gonna happen. And again, I just have fun. We could set up an obstacle course, and we've got like little pea shooters that we're just like kind of like playing combat with, almost like paintball.
I like that all of Chaag's downtime involves an obstacle course.
Yeah, I mean, like
running thing. He
like,
just loves obstacle courses.
Yeah, I mean, how would you train muscle? How would you train combat? You gotta at the end of the day, you gotta play.
It makes perfect sense. I just love it as a character beat. So
yeah, he just loves to play, and so that was me indulging in my vice, which is being pampered. And I did it with a friend, which is just extra fun. And I'm gonna train my playbook.
Great. So you're gonna mark 1 playbook XP and then roll your lowest attribute.
Heck yeah.
And add 1 die because you brought Farla.
And I got a 4 highest, so I'm going to remove 4 stress.
Yeah.
And that will take me down to 2 stress. Boom.
Woo! Jane, what does Jane do in this downtime as she is mildly wounded?
Jane is in a hospital bed, so there's not much she could do for now. I am definitely going to take the recover first. Melvin, I would have you roll your doctor.
Yep.
And we'll see how much I recover. And if that... So I automatically heal level 1 harms.
Yep, that's just gone.
And then my healing clock, when it fills up, I recover from that level 2 harm?
When it fills up, you erase all other harm, yes.
Okay, then. All right, well, here's something for... Yeah, I'll have to do it twice to get rid of that level 2 harm. Or I could just hold on to it. Why not? True.
I mean, you did get a 6 from me, so that's pretty nifty.
6. So you get 3 segments in your healing clock. And then for your second downtime action, you want to do that again?
Yeah, and then I think I might spend cred to do a 3rd.
Sure. Melvin, if you wouldn't mind rolling again.
Yep. Another 6.
Hey, all right.
There
So that, awesome. Okay, great. So Jane's feeling a lot better. My long-term project is trying to figure out who the Furies are. And with another good roll, I can succeed on that. So I think I'm going to continue that long-term project right now.
It's a good time to do it.
I'm going to go with Sway here. And once again, wherever we end up, Jane is just sort of asking around. She's schmoozing people.
Yeah, I think that's what you were making earlier, yeah.
That's a 6.
Long-term project always is a 6. I mean, that's overfills your clock. That is complete. And I will come back around to that, I think. All right, Rachel, Melvin.
I have a couple things that I am thinking of. One, I have 5 stress, so I can probably take care of that. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, probably want to indulge your vice.
I have the level 1 harm. The other thing that I was thinking of is I want to just give it that whole experience with the artifact. I kind of want to study that, get in touch with it, find out why it feels it needs to go to the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a quote-unquote long-term project.
Another long-term project, absolutely. So you can do you can indulge your vice, recover, and then spend 1 cred to start a long-term project you would like.
Perfect. I would love that. And I kind of almost picture them being kind of like tied together. So obviously just being very stressed from the whole situation, Taloo would indulge in her pleasure vice by lighting up her favorite space drug, Florg.
Florg
wax.
And as she's puffing on it, she goes over to the med bay where Jane was at one point and probably would still be at this point, just if all things are kind of happening together. Where she would be, go for healing on her own. But while she's there, she's obviously offers some to Jane if she would like to partake.
Oh, Jane takes a hit immediately. She looks around, makes sure the doctor isn't there, and it's just like, hey, hit that button on that monitor right there. It'll short it out for a couple of minutes. Don't ask me how I know that.
I don't know if I should be concerned. Anyway.
I am sitting right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you hit the button on the monitor. The monitor is Melvin.
Every time I'm like, when they're out of the room, people just go, "No, I'm in the room."
The smoke detector is above you. Please do it in the corner.
And then anyway, so she's sitting there. She'd say to Jane, you know, that artifact thing, well, it talks a lot.
Jane just immediately like perks up a little bit.
And like, I know the joke is like, haha, like I hear voices all the time, but like during that race, it was literally screaming like a child about going to the sun. And I think, I don't know, I think it needs to go to the sun. I just wanted to discuss that with you, I guess.
Yeah, just like slightly set up, and she just mutters, "Gosh, we got a lot of crazy people on this ship."
Look, I'm not crazy. Okay.
You got really good hearing.
I hear a lot of things, Jane. You can certainly say that.
Yeah, you were hearing the artifact screaming, apparently. What was
like
it? Was
a
screaming
child.
about the sun?
Yeah, it was like, you know, Whitney Whirl. You know when you bring your kids there.
Yeah, I know. I've been to WW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was like one of those situations, and I mean, kids are all right, not screaming.
I love Waste Mountain.
I'm a big fan of Mikey Moose.
I think Jane sort of like scratches her head and is just like, "Well, we haven't found a buyer for it, so here, I'll make this deal for you. If we can't find somebody to schlep that thing onto in the next, I don't know, quarter cycle, we'll go with your plan of throwing it into the sun."
I don't know. I think this might be a little bit more pressing. I don't know. I think it could potentially lead to some.
The only
bigger
thing that's going to lead to is it getting destroyed in a giant ball of hydrogen.
Here's the thing, though. I have this feeling, you could say, that that's not the case. And
there's a lot of feelings on this ship.
I don't know. I think having a bunch of people coming after us about it means it might be a bigger deal than just trying to sell it right away. You know what I'm saying?
Jane is now like getting up. I figured she has now been recovered, or is basically fully recovered. That she throws on her duster and her hat. She's like, "Look, I am listening, but we got to keep this ship afloat right now.
Yeah.
Let me go ask around about it. Ask around about these people chasing us, and we'll talk about it. I promise we'll talk about it."
I mean, I'm going to see if I can, I don't know, get more information from it about what happens when it goes to the sun, because I don't really think that's common knowledge.
I think Jane just like stares at you and then just like nods her head.
Don't look at me like that.
And walks out of the room.
Gosh,
Taloo would just like roll her eyes, take another hit, and then
off her floor wax.
Yeah, that floor wax and floor wax? Floor wax. Floor wax.
Floor wax isn't good. I think that'll kill you.
That's all it is. And then head over to the vault to attune with
as we're leaving. Do I see Orchid in the hallway?
In the sick bay.
Okay then.
She got two of her legs chopped off.
As I'm leaving, there's just like Jane like sort of puts an arm on them and it's just like, "Thank you for looking out for our crew. You didn't have to do that."
It is what I do.
Jane nods and continues on.
Yeah, she walks away, and she's still in her gown and with the IV drip, and you just see like ass hanging out of the gown.
The cowboy hat on. It's just like, "I'm off now." And I was just like,
"Wait, Orchid, you're a real one." Anyway, here's my bare ass.
No, please come back. Please come back. You are not yet. Oh, okay.
God, I love it so much.
That's canonical. That's
just the scumbag's like, "This thing's more trouble than it's worth. Let's throw it in the sun."
To finish this off, what project clock am I using to, I guess, get more information from the artifact?
So first, you're going to roll your lowest attribute to indulge your vice.
I got a 3.
You're going to clear 3 stress.
Love that.
And then for your project, what's your approach?
Originally, I was thinking like it talks a lot. It'll probably talk about itself, but maybe getting more context about what other people know about it might also give us information on why we're being like damn near murdered about it. So yeah, I'll study it.
Okay. You're just going to go into texts and lore and try and figure out if there's any information about this.
Mm-hmm.
To study it, this is going to be a 4-part clock.
Mm-hmm.
called Study the Artifact.
Perf. A 1.
A 1.
Oh,
So
no.
you're gonna mark 1 tick on that clock.
That's
or
fine.
if you've spent a cred to get this extra action, you can also spend another cred to bump that up to 2. There are 2 ticks.
I'll keep the 1 cred. That's all right. It's a project after all. It's not supposed to be done in
Absolutely.
one shot.
Wonderful. Melvin.
So I don't know. My brain's kind of going everywhere with this. Okay, I'll use one of my actions to repair the I'll say the hole. So I'll spend that cred.
I think I have another cred as well. If you want to just steal Jane's last one, you just while Jane is passed out in the chair, you just like grab $20 out of their check.
Those credits are gonna expire if you don't use them.
That's
That
true.
is true.
Oh,
That's
no, I forgot to
canonical.
expire. All right, so yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing then.
Okay. And your second downtime?
I was going to start a long-term project to basically throw robot legs onto Orchid.
Oh, okay. I think that is crafting in this case. So we can use, I'm going to say robot legs are not schematics, like terribly difficult schematics to acquire, even for a Kydian, because there is a pretty large contingent of them in this system. Now, there are some questions you typically answer when crafting something in this game, but in this case, given that it's not like you normally do this for weird gadgets and things,
Gotcha.
but since you're just building something relatively simple in this sci-fi setting, we know the answers to all the questions basically, which is like what type of device is it, what's the minimum quality level, minimum quality 1, just so that it works.
Yeah.
Is really all they like. If you get better than that, it can maybe do combat
Do
stuff,
augments
or
and
be, like,
stuff. Okay.
things. But like to build her some legs, minimum quality level 1. So you are going to roll your rig rating to create hardware.
I rolled a 4.
So your quality is equal to the crew quality, which in this case is 0.
Hey.
So you are going to need to spend a cred to make some functional legs for Orchid.
Well, I just spent all my cred. So
We have ship cred.
we
Yeah,
do.
there's still 3.
All right. Do we want to use it on the Mantis guys?
If we do, I can still fix the last bit with an extra action. So
I still have
Yeah.
cred. No one has asked for my cred yet.
Yeah, you scramble together using some of the salvage cred you guys made. You buy some simple parts and assemble a pair of robotic arthropod legs for your new mantis friend, Orchid. Casey, what is Pappy doing?
it's kind of a shame that I have no stress and I really want to indulge in my vice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, this is funny now.
I can assume
Pappy, which trauma did you take?
Yeah, so I took Reckless, which
Wonder why.
is as it sounds, and I think I'm invincible now. I think I'm invisible now.
You are the Farlands.
You are funny. It's funny you say that.
Yeah,
because
okay.
any downtime in which you don't indulge your vice,
Mm-hmm.
you take stress equal to the number of traumas you have. So being at 0 stress, you probably still don't want to because you'll risk overindulging, which is worse.
Take
Yeah.
another trauma.
But basically, if you don't indulge your vice, you'll take 1 stress for your 1 trauma, which reflects, I guess in this case, Pappy's like antsy, anxious, looking to get out there.
Well, it's yeah. I think he knows as well, like deep down, that he has to atone for what he did to that asteroid. But at the moment, he's like, "Nah, I'm invincible. The eye can't even hurt me."
Right. Coming off a high. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good. That's so good.
Boy.
God who?
And that's gonna bite me in the ass.
It's an interesting note that that Pappy thinks of the eye as like a vengeful thing as well.
Oh yeah.
In comparison to Taloo. That's interesting.
Cool.
So I'm gonna actually use both of my actions to repair the ship. So the ship
Okay.
is fully repaired.
Wonderful.
And then I'm going to spend an additional cred to either whatever you want to call it, craft or long-term project, but I have a scene that I kind of want to do with it. So Pappy's in the ship working away. He probably has a small workbench where he tinkers with stuff on occasion, and Rip comes up onto the ship. Just kind of originally to congratulate him. Pappy's smoking one of his victory cigars, and he just he hands one over to Rip.
It's a little cigar that says victory on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the brand.
That's crazy.
And he's tinkering away at the little spider droids, and
A lot of wrecked spider limbs around.
yeah, he's not really paying attention to Rip, who's like trying to talk to him about the race. He just all of a sudden stops what he's doing and says, "Did she ever tell you what happened between us?"
I mean, she She made some asides that it was not good, but like I didn't pry. It seemed kind of traumatic.
I wasn't the one who left. That was her.
Ooh.
Granted, we come from a long line of nomads, traveling and, mining asteroids, to be honest. And then one day, she decided she didn't want to go no more. She just cut ties. Thought it was crazy to keep moving and not enjoy set down roots and whatnot. Probably got that from her ma. And he kind of goes back to working a little bit. She resented me for moving. And I don't know if I blame her. She was pretty young at the time. But the eye kept me moving. I had to keep chasing it. And, well, maybe it was a bad idea. I don't know. But I'm going to live forever, so maybe I'll have time to stick around at some point.
He kind of looks at the view screen. There's a pod of space whales going by the station. You know, we can imagine that there are Pappy looks out and maybe sees his own family in them. They let out a little bit of whale song, which mysteriously transmits through the vacuum of space. And Rip says, "It's not the story I heard, Pappy, but if she made her choice and you made yours, then that's all you can do about it, I think. But thank you for telling me that."
It's just the worst that I'm gonna be leaving again. Maybe someday. And he just silently goes back to tinkering.
Maybe someday, Pappy. And he kind of sits around for a while before awkwardly shuffling out.
Yeah.
All right. And you want to do something in the ship?
Yeah. Well, the plan was to try and craft and make these spider bots into mobile explosives.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
Because I have just the one that we kind of captured after it stuck its face in my face.
Yeah, I honestly think this isn't even a full crafting role for you. This is just kind of like repairing and sticking some bombs in. I don't think it's that hard. I think the tricky part here is hacking the systems that they respond to you, which I know you don't have any hack.
Nope.
So if you want to start that as a long-term project of like reconfigure the spider drones.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to do that as a long-term project, that works.
But because it's a long-term project, you will eventually finish. This is just a 4 o'clock, okay. So you will complete it eventually, just maybe not immediately.
Yeah.
The roll twice and take the because you're always assured 1 tick, right? Even if you fail.
Oh, I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Oh.
So 1 tick. And, all right, Jane, you have been calling around all your contacts, trying to keep it low, trying to figure out who are these people in the Black Corvette? Why are they calling themselves Furies? Why are they attacking us? Why do they have no registration? You have a name, Jaina Havocan. You have a few ideas about the kind of tech level they have. In this galaxy, that's a lot of information for tracking down something so specific as this. I want you to tell me, of the friends, the contacts listed on your sheet, which one of them do you get your answers from in the end? When all the clues point together, who finally gives you the key to unlocking them?
I think out of desperation, so with this game's system for people listening, for your friends, you can either have good influence with them or bad influence or just like no influence with them.
They're a contact.
Yeah.
Basic contact.
I think for this, Jane was calling around getting desperate because no one knew anything. And she finally called Fenley, who is a noble diplomat that Jane does not have a good relationship with. And this will result in Jane owing them even more for some past craziness that has happened.
So Fenley is this...
I don't think we ever established what they are. They go by she, they, though.
Yeah. Fenley is kind of a stout, broad-shouldered with light pink skin, a row of hair, knots on the top of her head, and they are wearing kind of fancy Star Trek-like long flowing space robes, essentially, in their work as a diplomat. Yeah. Now, Fenley does not like you very much.
No.
When you come to her with this problem, her eyes go wide. She shutters all the windows in her room, switches you over to a secure channel, and you understand, she does not even fault you for asking because you are in such big shit.
Uh-oh.
And basically the information Fenley gives you is that the Furies are a secret task force from the Compass Alliance charged with investigating unusual and unique mystical artifacts and precursor artifacts. And that God's Bin, where you retrieve the artifact, has been a source of many of these over the years, as are many locations in the Cetus sector. It is kind of a dumping ground for a lot of ancient Azo technology and a lot of strange eye technology and things. She says that there are 3 of them deployed in the Cetus sector. Their names are Jaina Havocan, Katin Tempest, and Petra Vale.
Okay.
They have essentially unlimited resources and some of the best technology in the galaxy. And the only thing stopping them from bringing that all to bear is that they're also, they're spec ops. They try not to make a scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
They need to do this quietly and quickly.
Oh no.
They say that the Furies will not stop coming after you until they have the artifact or you don't have the artifact. And if you don't have the artifact and you can't tell them where it is, they will probably also try and kill you. Is there anything else you want to know about that from them?
No, I mean, this is also somebody that I don't have great influence in. I like them just being like, that's all I'm going to tell you.
So as you're like kind of noting all this down, thinking you're kind of at your screens, pulled up all this information coming through.
Yeah.
And then Fenley says, now I'm telling you this because no one deserves to be in their way. But I can never speak to you again. And I would like you to cross Fenley off of your contacts.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's great. And I love it because then the video shuts off and Jane is in a dark room with only the screens like illuminating her. And I feel like unless you have something else, but I think the final scene in this is just Jane drumming her fingers on her desk. And then it just like blackouts on that of just her looking like defeated.
And with a final whisper,
Sun was so beautiful.
that is where we will call today's session.
So good. Oh, those other 2 are definitely coming for us.
Do we want to do
I think
level
Jane
up?
is still
Do
coming
we want
for
to do
us.
experience as well?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
well-
She got away. Yeah, I almost completely forgot that she had gone away in such a badass way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's we'll wrap up experience real quick. Pappy, how much XP you get in this session?
I'm gonna give myself 4.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Let's fill those bars, people.
Yeah.
Let's go. Chaag,
I'm giving myself 4.
awesome. Taloo,
I'm gonna give myself 4 as well.
Sky, don't break the
Let's
streak.
keep the ball rolling with 4, baby.
Oh, baby!
Hey!
And Melvin.
See, it's so funny that you guys said 4. Because for these last couple of episodes, I've been like, oh, I think I got like a 1 or 2. This episode, I feel, you know what? I think I got 4.
Yeah!
4 XP for
die,
everyone.
4
baby.
for episode 4.
Quite the packed episode. Thank you
Where's
all
episode
for
5?
listening.
Wait, which episode is this? Hold on.
This is episode 5.
All right. Okay, guys. We're all doing 5 instead. Sorry.
5 for 5.
Thank you all for listening. Does anyone have anything they would like to plug?
Majora's Rose on Twitch, Rachel Kordell everywhere else. Yeah.
Nice.
I am TINTENSEHER. You can check out my link tree for all my different links, including my itch.io, where I publish short RPGs and things, including last month's The Machines We Built, and this month submitted a lot of game jams, including Carry the Flame, a short minimal horror RPG. Check it out. Thank you.
You should go to Kickstarter and fund Blue Hundred's film because our Kickstarter is officially up and running.
Woo!
Yeah, we're trying to raise money to put together a full-fledged film where I play a detective hunting after a couple bank robbers. So it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully, if you can, please donate. If not, share it. That would be great too. The more people that see it, the more likely it is to get fully funded and get me some more work. So that'd be great.
Awesome.
If you like this podcast, why not leave a review on Apple Podcasts or send us a message at rpjesters or rpjesters@gmail.com.
No bit this time?
You want a bit?
You don't have to.
Why does everything have to be a bit with you? That's what my thing is. Like, I'm really trying to put it out there that like I want people. Go ahead and turn it off, listener. I don't care. Turn it off because I want to take a second here because it's like,
Why are you treating Jonas so hard?
Goodbye? Goodbye.
This is the bit. This is the thing. Is by you
Whoa,
the bit.
this is the bit.
The bit.
Bye.